Chapter 12, Eid service, holiday. It is not their flesh nor their blood that reaches Allah, but to him is acceptable righteousness on your part. Surah 22, 837. 22:36 says, when they fall down, eat of them and feed the poor man who is contented and the beggar. The word Eid from Ada, he or it returned, is literally the time of return, of joy, and of grief, and hence it comes to indicate a festival or a periodical festival. The word Eid itself occurs in the Holy Quran only in connection with the prayer of Jesus for bread for his disciples in the sense of an ever-recurring happiness. Surah 5, 814. There are two festivals among the Muslimin. The festival of sacrifice is called Eid al-Adha, Doha, meaning early part of the day. Oh, Duha is early part of the day. Okay. And Daha, he sacrificed a victim in the time of Doha. And the festival of breaking fasts called Eid al-Fitr, Fatara, meaning he split a thing, and Aftara, he broke the fast. In the Holy Quran, a reference to Eid al-Adha is contained in the course of the mention of the sacrifice, which is the chief feature of that day. The dates for the two Eidain, I don't know the plural of Eid, are determined with reference to the appearance of the new moons, and hence certain rules are laid down when there is doubt about it. The festivals start not with any physical enjoyment, but with an act of bowing before God, so that the spiritual awakening thus brought about may serve as a restraint on physical enjoyment. A sermon is delivered by the Imam after 2 raka'ah of prayer have been said, and stress is laid in it on matters relating to the welfare of the community. No adhan is delivered, nor the iqamah. A number of additional takbirs, however, is pronounced during the service. Women and children are also required to join in the service and listen to the sermon. The Eid service is held wherever there is a number of Muslimin, whether it is a town or a village, in a solitary place. In the Eid al-Fitr, it is necessary to take some food before going out to pray. The taking of a bath is also necessary. The Eid prayer should be said at an early hour, say by breakfast time. The Holy Prophet generally took a different route on returning from the place of prayer. Sacrifice should not be offered until prayer has been said. Everyone who has the means is required to sacrifice an animal. Some details regarding the animals to be sacrificed are given in one goat or one sheep is sufficient for one man or one household, but 7 may be partners in one cow or one camel. Animals may be sacrificed either on the day of Eid or on the 2 following days. A part of the meat of the animal sacrifice is distributed among the poor, and the price of the skin must be devoted to charitable objects. A charitable institution is also connected with the Eid al-Fitr in the form of fitr charity, which must be collected at a central place and then distributed. When Eid occurs on a Friday, the Friday service becomes optional. A little music or sport is not prohibited on the Eid day. Certain things may not be allowed in the masjid that are allowed outside the masjid is an important point to make. Ibn Umar reported that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, mentioned Ramadan and said, do not keep the fast until you see the new moon, and do not discontinue the keeping of fast until you see it again. And if it be veiled to you, by a cloud or something, have it measured. As in, if it seems, if you're not sure that the moon was sighted, then you can, and it's after the waxing, the moon has started to wax. Well, make sure the month has been 30 days if that's been the case, or Ibn Umar reported that well, I guess it'd be possible some places that you're far enough north and cloudy, and maybe you, for some reason, don't see the moon enough. So you say you might add, well, we don't know about the first night, waxing moon before is above the horizon before it sets. Make it the next night, if that's possible. To be the first night, if you don't, if it's obscured, Ibn Umar reported that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, the month is sometimes 29 nights, so do not keep fast until you see the new moon. Don't consider the fast required. And if it be veiled to you by a cloud, then complete the number 30. Okay, I overstated my comment earlier. Abu Sa'id said, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, used to go forth on the day of the Fitr and the Adhan to the Musalla. It's actually preferable to have the holiday prayers in a place other than just your typical congregational masjid. So the first thing that he did was the saying of prayer, and then he turned and stood facing the people while the people were sitting in their rows. He admonished them and gave them injunctions and commands. Then, if he intended to raise an army, he gave the orders for it, or if he intended to command any other thing, he commanded it, and then he returned. Ibn Abbas reported that the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said 2 raka'ah, bows on the day of the Fitr. And he did not say any prayer before it, nor after it. And he came to the women, and with him was Bilal, and he commanded them to give charity. So they began to throw away their ornaments. A woman gave away her earring and her necklace. Now, some say the Eid prayers, there's only 2 days for that. Some people say, it's like the day of, well, whatever the word for winter was. But the winter would be a few months, or maybe, be a third of the year, or whatever it was, according to their divisions, right? The ancient Egyptians had 3 seasons, for example. So it's apparent, it's agreed upon that the 10th through the 13th of the 12th month is an Eid. But there is some tradition that has a 3-day Eid starting the 10th month. So just to be sure, I think it's doubtful or weak that those that this is the case, but there's certainly tradition towards that regard. Ibn Abbas reported that the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said 2 rak'ah of prayer on the day of Fitr, and he did not say any prayer before it nor after it, but he came to the women, and with him was Bilal, and he commanded them to give charity, so they began to throw away their ornaments. A woman gave away her earring and her necklace. Now, the Eid al-Fitr, there is a certain obligatory charity of food before that. Jabir ibn Samura said, I said both the Eid prayers with the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, not once or twice, without adhan, without iqamah. Kathir reported on authority of his grandfather that the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, uttered takbirs in both Eid services, 7 times at the first rak'ah before the recitation of the Fatiha, and 5 times in the second before the recitation. And there's Shia narrations that say 5 times for each. So, Atiyah said, we women were commanded to go forth on the day of Eid insofar as to make a virgin leave her curtain and to require even menstruating women to turn out. And they, women, were behind the men, and they uttered the takbir along with their takbir, and they made supplications along with their supplications, hoping for the blessing of that day and its purification. The Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Quaker, and so forth. Anas ordered his slave, Ibn Abu Utbah at Zawiya. So he gathered together the people of his household and his sons, and he held prayer service, just as the residents of the towns hold prayer service and uttered takbirs. Anas said, the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, did not go out on the morning of the day of the Fitr until he had eaten some dates. Ibn Abbas said, the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, used to take a bath on the day of the Fitr and the day of the Adha. So Friday prayers, yes, but the Eid prayers also. Take a bath after your dawn prayer and head out. But of course, some people would have to take it before because they head out for the dawn prayer and they can't really go back home. It is reported on the authority of Abdullah ibn Busr that he went forth with the people on the day of the Fitr or the Adha and disapproved of the delay of the Imam and said, we used to have finished by this time, and it was the time of the prayer after sunrise. Jabir said, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, used to change the route on the day of Eid. Bara said, I heard the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, delivering a sermon. So he said, the first thing that we do on this day of ours is that we say prayers, then we go back and sacrifice an animal. And whoever does this abides by our sunnah. Abu Huraira said, the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, whoever has the means but not sacrifice an animal, let him not come to our place of prayer. Jabir said, the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, do not slaughter but a musina unless it is difficult for you to get it. Then in that case, slaughter a jada'a from among the sheep. And full grown. So we're not eating veal here, unless there's not really the option. Bara ibn Azib reported that. Is it veal when you eat the sheep? I know that's the cow. What's the Bara ibn Azib reported that the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was asked as to what sacrifices should be avoided. He pointed out with his hand and said, 4. The lame one whose limping is manifest, and the blind one whose of one eye, whose disfigurement is manifest, and the diseased one whose disease is manifest, and the emaciated one which has no marrow left in its bones. Jabir reported that the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, sacrifice is a cow suffices for 7 persons, and that of a camel for 7 persons. Ibn Umar said, Al-Adha lasts 2 days after the Eid of Adha. So 2 days after the day of Adha, So I'm not familiar with that 3 days for the thing, but I've read narrations, in Arabic that verify that it's 4 days. So Ibn Umar said, the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, made the charity of the Fitr 1 saw of dates or 1 saw of barley. Saw is like a double handful or something. Obligatory on every slave and free man. Or is it 4 of them? Oh, 4. 4. Okay, it's 4 of them. Obligatory on every slave and free man, male and female, minor and major, from among the Muslimin, and ordered that it should be paid before people going out for the prayer. Abu Hurairah said, the messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, appointed me to guard for the charity of Ramadan. Ibn Umar said, to eat, is it eating or eating? What's the plural of it? Festival. Occurred together in the time of the messenger of Allah. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. So he performed the Eid prayer with the people and said, whoever desires to come to the Friday service, he may come. And whoever desires to remain absent, he may remain absent. So it's not required to attend both the early morning and the early afternoon. So we see that the congregational prayers are obliged for the Friday. They're obliged for the Eid, but otherwise, Aisha reported that Abu Bakr paid her a visit in the days of Mina, and with her were two girls playing on a tambourine. And beating it, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, covered himself with his cloth. Abu Bakr upbraided them, but the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, uncovered his face and said, "Leave them alone, O Abu Bakr, for these are days of Eid."